2-minute read. As Trump said Monday at his second inaugural, nothing will stand in our way. He does not intend to be restrained as he was, obviously not sufficiently, the first time. In his 29-minute inaugural address, he warned that a more experienced Donald Trump will not take no for an answer. Which raises the obvious question, what will restrain him? My candidates for the major restraints are: 1. The federal courts. Federal judges will not rubber stamp whatever Trump wants to do. Most understand their first responsibility is to the Constitution and the rule of law. They do not think of themselves as partisan. Most were nominated by Democratic presidents. You have reason to be worried about the majority on the Supreme Court, but the Supreme Court reviews less than 1% of federal cases. 2. Trump's obsession with the stock market. Time and again, he's indicated that he measures his success by how well the Dow and S&P are doing. This obsession arguably will limit his wilder economic ideas, such as imposing tariffs on all nations, which would cause the market to plunge. 3. The Republicans' tiny majority in the House. The Republicans' 5-seat lead is the smallest since the Great Depression, so narrow that a couple of members can derail or kill anything Trump wants. Yes, Republican lawmakers are cowed by Trump, but their constituents are in favor of or against a variety of things, some of which are likely to run counter to what Trump seeks. Every House member is up for re-election in 2026, so the very narrow Republican majority could spell trouble for Trump's agenda. 4. The common sense of the American people. Donald Trump won the popular vote by a tiny 1.5 points. You have to go back to the 2000 election to find a smaller margin for a winning presidential candidate. Despite the hype from Fox News and Trump World, most Americans are wary of Trump. Arguably, most won't abide his cruelty, such as splitting up families and putting undocumented people into concentration camps. So today's office hours question: what will be the major restraint on Trump 2? Now read, Trump's MAGA America revives a Confederate nightmare. Robert Reich is a professor of public policy at Berkeley and former Secretary of Labor. His writings can be found at https://robertreich, soupstock.com. Related articles. Ichijiyohu Essence of Authoritarianism. Expert warns Project 2025 would create a Trump autocracy. Could lead to bloodshed. Military experts fear Trump's use of soldiers against civilians. Trump's political capital may dry up if he doesn't invest it wisely. Fox News political editor. How to deal with your Trumper Uncle Bob. Ichijiyohu get in line. Tensions heat up between Trump and GOP fiscal hardliners. Ad. Sponsored content. More for you. Daily Mail 12H. Donald Trump puts Winston Churchill back in the Oval Office. The Canadian Press 4H. Panama president responds forcefully to Trump's comments on Panama Canal. The Independent 17H. How Elon Musk's radicalization can be pinpointed to a single event. The Independent 7H. Proud Boys leader Enrique Tarrio calls for retribution in chilling interview with Alex Jones hours after prison release. The Independent 23H. Trump media stock takes a nosedive as he returns to Oval Office. Raw Story 22H. Grinch level. Trump administration slammed for yanking White House's Spanish website. National Post 5H. Amy Ham. Donald Trump's defense of women's rights is glorious. 51. The Independent 14H. Piers Morgan recalls bizarre phone call with Donald Trump days before presidential inauguration. 23. Alternet. 112.4K followers. God have mercy on us. GOP rep slammed over dangerous response to Bishop's plea to Trump. Story by Maya Body. 1D, 2-minute read. The Right Reverend Marian Edgar Buddy, the Episcopal Bishop of Washington, who led the inaugural prayer service Washington, D.C. Tuesday, received fierce backlash from a Republican congressman after asking President Donald Trump to have mercy on LGBTQ people and immigrants. In the name of our God, I ask you to have mercy upon the people in our country who are scared now, said Buddy, as Trump, Vice President Vance, and their families looked on. There are gay, lesbian, and transgender children in Democratic, Republican, and independent families.
Some who fear for their lives.
They may not be citizens or have the proper documentation, but the vast majority of immigrants are not criminals. They pay taxes and are good neighbors. They are faithful members of our churches and mosques, synagogues.